The Tommy Campbell Show. Following speeches at the World Economic Forum in Davos, Prime Minister Mark Carney was widely praised and called a breakout star, while Donald Trump's appearance sparked confusion, mockery, and criticism around the world, some from Gavin Newsom, who Trump actually tried to block from speaking. PM Carney and Governor Newsom had mic drop moments, and Trump just rambled through silence. Trump has finally brought unity to America and the world. Everyone's laughing at him. To be fair, they were already laughing, Gavin, but this definitely put his stupid in the spotlight during and after Davos. But that didn't stop Caroline from trying to pretend he did a great job.
And I know they were all very pleased with his speech. I was in the room, John, and it has rave reviews because the president just tells it like it is. And he came here with his America First vision on full display, talking about how the American economy is booming once again through massive deregulation, an energy boom. The president fulfilling his promise to drill, baby, drill. You look at the tax cuts he signed into law. All of these things coming together to put together a really exceptional American economy.
I'll just stop you right there. There were no rave reviews, but many are certain he's a raving lunatic, and you're not far off since you're defending him with all this nonsense. When a reporter noted Trump appeared to mix up Greenland and Iceland around 3 times, Caroline tried to steer the clown car away, claiming, "No, he didn't, Libby. His written remarks referred to Greenland as a piece of ice because that's what it is. You're the only one mixing anything up here." You know, if only there were tape of this.
I don't know that they'd be there for us. They're not there for us on Iceland, that I can tell you. I mean, our stock market took the first dip yesterday because of Iceland. So Iceland's already cost us a lot of money. But that dip is peanuts compared to what it's gone up.
Of all the leaders in attendance, Trump is the only one to confuse Greenland with Iceland, and it's that he does it with such confidence while speaking to stunned silence. You don't screw up the name of the country you're trying to steal and then get rave reviews. Look, if I audition for a film and get the character's name wrong, they don't just go, "Okay, bravo, you got the part." Leavitt's always trying to cover up for him, and he's always trying to cover his hands. Okay, that's hilarious. But those things are looking worse by the day. And even Newsom called her out because remember, we're supposed to believe this is all from his super firm handshakes. Well, as Gavin said, no, Trump shakes hands with his left. Very common knowledge. We all know that. Caroline in like 5 minutes. Well, when asked about the disgusting hand, Trump did say he clipped it on a table. I clipped it on a table. So you have a vice president that likes to sleep with furniture, and you have a president that can be taken down by something from IKEA. So strong. But Trump's trip to Davos was a gong show from the get-go. His attempt to dominate the forum was derailed by a literal low-energy moment. Air Force One was forced to pull a mid-air U-turn over the Atlantic due to an electrical failure that caused the cabin lights to flicker before shutting off completely. There's just something beautifully metaphorical about the man who built his brand on power being grounded because his own plane couldn't keep the lights on. You have to hand it to Boeing. They finally found a way to stop a Trump speech. And all it took was a few frayed wires to stop the guy with his screws loose. Screws Loose is also the name of the new Melania movie. It's official. She's been in more theatrical releases than Kevin Sorbo in the last 10 years. Subscribe. Because of the 3-hour delay, Trump had to switch to the backup Boeing 757, riding out on a smaller pressurized fart tube, only to find out that Carney had already delivered his mic drop and took off, eh? Trump thought he was the headliner, and the opening act just blew him off stage with a speech Carney wrote himself that's being called one of the strongest Davos speeches in years. Not because it was flashy. He didn't have fireworks and backup dancers like a Turning Point USA event to please the smooth brainers, but because Carney said out loud what most leaders have been tiptoeing around, and here's how he wrapped it up.
We are a stable and reliable partner in a world that is anything but. A partner that builds and values relationships for the long term. And we have something else. We have a recognition of what's happening and a determination to act accordingly. We understand that this rupture calls for more than adaptation. It calls for honesty about the world as it is. We are taking the sign out of the window. We know the old order is not coming back. We shouldn't mourn it. Nostalgia is not a strategy, but we believe that from the fracture, we can build something bigger, better, stronger, more just. This is the task of the middle powers. The countries that have the most to lose from a world of fortresses and a most to gain from genuine cooperation. The powerful have their power, but we have something too. The capacity to stop pretending, to name reality, to build our strength at home, and to act together. That is Canada's path. We choose it openly and confidently, and it is a path wide open to any country willing to take it with us. Thank you very much.
That standing ovation matters. Davos is not like a clap-happy room. This isn't a poetry reading where you applaud at the end because they finished the page. Okay, good job. This is a room that stands only when something lands, and what landed was Carney saying the quiet part out loud. The rules-based order doesn't function the way it's advertised anymore, and pretending otherwise just leaves middle countries exposed. One line in particular has already become shorthand for the whole speech. If you're not at a table, you're on the menu. He followed that with another gut punch. When the rules no longer protect you, you must protect yourself. And he went straight at the real issue without naming names. Great powers have begun using economic integration as a weapon, tariffs as leverage, finance as coercion. Trade isn't cooperation anymore, it's pressure. And pretending otherwise is how you end up subordinate while calling it partnership. Carney wasn't arguing for isolation. He was calling out America's isolation while arguing for density, a web of alliances so no single power can pull the plug. Strength in numbers. He told middle nations to stop living within the lie and actually build what they claim to believe in. He was clear on Arctic sovereignty. Canada stands with Greenland and Denmark and fully supports the right to determine Greenland's future. This wasn't anti-American, it was anti-fantasy, and that calm, measured, fact-based dismantling of transactional strongman politics was a rallying cry the room clearly responded to. This was his Jerry Maguire, who's coming with me moment, except not just one lady stood up. Everyone is on board with Carney. And that is what Donald Trump had to follow. And as noted, he even tried to stop Newsom from speaking. Didn't work. Newsom backed Carney and added some proper blows. Destruction is not strength. The Trump administration is weakness masquerading as strength. Trump's historically unpopular.
And they're the new Trump signature series Kneepads. Yeah, and they are available online. I told you the last one sold out. And I just want to sort of... It's a serious moment. It actually, we laugh. Anyway, these are available and in bulk, too. From families knocking on doors, racially profiling American citizens. So is it surprising the Trump administration didn't like my commentary and wanted to make sure that I was not allowed to speak? No, it's consistent with this administration and their authoritarian tendencies. Forgive me, these are objective facts. Donald Trump tried to steal the election, the last election, tried to light democracy on fire, and then pardoned everyone that participated in that. Is anyone paying attention to what the hell is going on in the United States of America? So my state of mind is a little different, perhaps, than many others. I won't be complicit at this moment.
I do love that Gavin didn't just mention the Kneepads. He showed up with them and had many great comments. And trust me, the right wing they're furious. They're calling him a prop comic. Ridiculous. It was on point. Newsom and Carney both stole the show, and Trump babbled. I mean, it was never going to get top marks in the countries he's been pissing on, but this really sealed the deal, which is why he put so much emphasis on his Board of Peace, which is essentially a Mar-a-Lago International, like a pay-to-play diplomatic club where a permanent seat costs $1 billion, and Trump crowns himself chairman for life, and he gets absolute veto power over a hand-picked court of 35 nations, including Hungary and Saudi Arabia. Many are referring to this as Board of Peace. We're Board of Peace. Newsom went all in. Fixed it. It only cost $1 billion for a lifetime porcelain membership. Come on, should have been a golden diaper, let's be honest. I love this. Him with the dictator. Wow, what a historic peace agreement. No more war and no more elections. His plan looks like a corporate takeover of the UN. He even took their logo, except instead of making in About the World, it's focused on the USA. Greenland isn't even on there. None of America's major allies endorsed it. Canada didn't, Britain didn't, France didn't, Germany didn't. It's the ultimate pay-to-play scheme where world peace is managed like a high-end condo board.
Canada gets a lot of freebies from us, by the way. They should be grateful also, but they're not. I watched your Prime Minister yesterday. He wasn't so grateful. But they should be grateful to us. Canada lives because of the United States. Remember that, Mark, the next time you make your statements.
Yeah, take that, Mark. This is like yelling at the TV screen after the game is already over. Okay, after Davos, Carney went back on camera with many are calling an encore, a speech that flipped Trump's attempt to belittle him into a statement of national confidence and independence. He said Canada doesn't live because of the United States. Canada thrives because we are Canadian. And he made it clear that Canada's strengths come from its own values, its sovereignty, and its partnerships, not from owing gratitude for some imaginary American favor. Now, after Davos is when the diaper really hit the fan, with Trump going on a 50-post spree, raving lunatic, with this desperate post that screams, "No, I'm breaking up with you." Dear Prime Minister Carney, please let this letter serve to represent that the Board of Peace is withdrawing its invitation to you regarding Canada's joining what will be the most prestigious board of leaders ever assembled at any time. He also went after Newsom for his Davos dunking, calling him a lame duck and a governor of a failing state. Newsom doesn't run from this sort of thing. He runs towards it. He's not scared of Trump. He reposted it several times because the fastest way to expose nonsense is to let Trump say it out loud. Water from the Pacific Northwest? How many times does he have to go through this? There's no giant tap, no pipeline, no switch Newsom is refusing to flip. The Pacific Northwest water is governed by interstate law, environmental rules, and gravity, none of which responds to the guy with bruised hands rage posting. California's fire problems are real and come from heat, wind, and climate conditions, not some secret water spigot Newsom is hoarding. But Trump really wants people to believe he has his hand on the faucet and refuses to go lefty-loosey. Newsom's holding out. As for Davos, California is the 5th largest economy in the world. So a governor being at an economic forum isn't embarrassing, it's reality. Trump doesn't go after Newsom because he's failing. He goes after him because Newsom shows up, knows the facts, and doesn't flinch. And nothing rattles Trump more than someone who won't play scared.
We've never needed them. We have never really asked anything of them. You know, they'll say they sent some troops to Afghanistan or this or that. And they did. They stayed a little back, a little off the front lines.
Infuriating to say the least. Social media has been flooded with photos of Allied soldiers, forward operating bases, flag-draped coffins, and posts like, "Here's me, a British soldier, doing nothing for America, Afghanistan 2009. Keir Starmer called Trump's remarks insulting and appalling, and he's right. Claiming NATO allies stayed off the front lines after 9/11 isn't just wrong, it's a slap in the face to the countries that buried their dead in an American war. When the Twin Towers fell, NATO invoked Article 5 for the first and only time in history, treating an attack on New York as one on London, Paris, Berlin, Copenhagen, Ottawa, everyone. More than 1,100 Allied soldiers died fighting along the US, British, Canadian, Dutch, and Danish troops who held some of the worst ground in Helmand and Kandahar, the heart of the insurgency. Not a little back, not off the front lines. They were the front lines. Per capita, countries like Denmark, Estonia, and Georgia lost troops at rates matching or exceeding the USA, and even non-NATO allies stepped up. Australia was the first country to invoke its defense treaty after 9/11, sending tens of thousands of troops over 2 decades, not because they had something to gain, but because an ally had been attacked. Meanwhile, Donald's personal 9/11 contribution was calling a TV station while the rubble was still smoldering to brag that his building was now the tallest nearby, which wasn't even true. This is also the same guy who mocked John McCain for being captured and reportedly called fallen troops losers and suckers, asking what was in it for them. It blows my mind that all these gun-crazy right-wing gravy seals act like they love the military, but continue to back the fake Bone Spurs guy whose words and actions show he doesn't give a damn about the troops.
The accusation of racial profiling, look, it's something that we take very seriously. We will take accusations of racial profiling back to Washington. We'll certainly look into them as they come up. But this is not a group that's going around and looking for people who violated the law based on skin color. They're looking for people who violated the actual law, the law of our immigration system in this country. What I do need them to do is empower their local officials to help our federal officials out in a way where this can be a little bit less chaotic and it can be a little bit more targeted. Like if we're trying to find a sex offender, tell us where the guy lives. And yes, there is an affordability crisis, one created by Joe Biden's policies. You don't turn the Titanic around overnight. It takes time to fix what was broken. I said earlier that
Okay, they're absolutely going after skin color. They're eating in Mexican restaurants and then detaining the cooks. It is ridiculous to suggest otherwise. And if you're looking for a sex offender, he's either at the White House, the golf course, or Mar-a-Lago. By the way, the winner of the poll was consumers pay the tariffs. I'm surprised. I gotta admit, I thought the ball-sack Mexican balcony or the VD veranda were gonna take the top spot, but over 2,000 of you voted, and I love that we have such good fun here. Now, the Titanic, well, that hit an iceberg 4 days into its voyage. They couldn't just turn it around and go back 4 days to port with a hole in it. It didn't make it overnight. It sank 3 hours later. This guy is as full of it as his diaper-wearing boss, and this week he announced his wife Usha is pregnant. I mean, come on. You know this had to be related to all that Erica Kirking he's been doing. He had to prove his love to her by doing it for the first time in years, or he just filled a thimble between couch cushions and had her take it to the lab. If it's a boy, you know it's going to be named Charlie. If it's a girl, Charlie. If you're subscribed to this mango, you need head checked ASAP. I think this is my first time being called a mango, which makes little sense since we all know the man you window lickers worship is the Mango Mussolini. But I can't expect any sense from someone that can't even differentiate between you and your MAGA-tears. Your bald head is karma for your lefty beliefs. Yes! I lost my hair in my early 20s because I wanted the world to become a better place, like when I was volunteering feeding rescue workers at Ground Zero. Go bald with your relief efforts, you lib. Karma is spelled with a K, and if you're looking for a word spelled with a C, it's the four-letter one everyone calls you. MAGA-tears. Trump's speech, and all it took was a few frayed wires to stop the guy with his screws loose. Screws Loose is also the name of the new Melania movie. Oh, she screws. Newsom backed Carney and added some proper blows. Destruction is not strength. The Trump administration. Not because it was flashy. He didn't have fireworks and backup dancers like a Turning Point USA event to please the smooth brainers. Why do they treat it like wrestling? It's so ridiculous.
The Tommy Campbell Show is the best political comedy show on YouTube. And I hope you subscribe.